I'm gonna like be right here. Okay. This is my first video. I'm nervous. I guess I don't really know how to start. I wanted to make a video documenting the books that I've read this past month, since I have read a good amount. This is probably the most books I've ever read in 1 month. So I thought that we could go over them together and kind of help process my thoughts and ideas that I've had. These are all the books that I've read from the month of July. First, I started with Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I really enjoyed this one. I've only read a few previous Stephen King books before, and I knew I wanted to pick this one up when I was in my spurt of reading, and it was really great. If you don't know the story, if you haven't seen the movie, it is about a family that moves into a home, and in front of the home is a very busy street. Nearby their home is a pet cemetery where some of these pets that have been buried there have come back. It kind of just goes from there. I'm sure you can figure it out. So I really enjoyed this one. I rated this 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. If anything, I honestly would like to rate it 4.5, like 4.5 stars out of 5. I'm thinking in terms of Letterboxd. I would like to rate it a 4.5 out of 5 stars if I could. Love this story about grief, loss, and Stephen King notes this as one of his scariest books that he's ever written. It wasn't necessarily a book that scared me, but it was something I really, really enjoyed. It is heavy with its themes of loss and grief. It was amazing. Loved it. I highly recommend, especially if you know anything about it or anything about him. Loved it. After I read Pet Sematary, I decided to pick up the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. This is by Grady Hendrix. I had no previous impressions of Grady Hendrix or his writing. It was good. I say that with hesitancy only because there are things in the book that I wish we got more of, especially with the main antagonist, who is basically the vampire next door. There are just things that I longed for in this book that could have been a little better. I still really enjoyed this. I would recommend it if you're looking for a vampire story, but it's also not too vampire-like. The way that he portrays women, I don't even want to get... okay, whatever. I wish there was a little bit more vampire action. It was still a really great story, and I loved the vibes. I think I rated this 4 stars on Goodreads. This one would also be a 3.5 star for me if we're thinking Letterboxd. The next book I read was by Carly Fortune, so I took an entirely different direction on where I wanted to go next with my reading. I was ready for something different. One of the key components that has gotten me so fascinated with reading lately is the fact that some of these books that I have picked up and read, I know absolutely nothing about. And I think that's one thing that maybe I got caught up in, was the fact that I was mostly gravitating to books that maybe had some other form of adaptation that I was familiar with. So when I saw this cover, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, this was the whole reason why I picked up the book, is because of the cover. I just thought, wow, I want to be there with them. Like, yeah, put me on that boat. This is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. I flew through this book like nobody's business. I enjoyed every second of this book. It was so out of like left field for me in terms of genre, story, like anything that I would normally gravitate to, this would not be it. And for some reason I could not put this down. I had made a mistake of picking this one up and reading this before I read Every Summer After, which I've learned you technically don't have to read this book first before you read this one. This was published first. It does take characters from this story and incorporates them into this story. Because I was just going off vibes alone, I kind of did it backwards. So I read this and then I picked up this one. So as far as this one goes, loved it. Highly recommend Summer Vibes. This is a romance, so there is some parts where it is a little spicy. Didn't think it was too much and it didn't make me cringe too bad, which is what like my main fear is with these romance novels I've been picking up. Rated this 4 stars on Goodreads. Honestly, this is one I can see myself rating a little bit higher, maybe 4.5. I don't know if it's recency bias or what. Maybe I'll pick this back up next year and we'll see if I still feel the same way, but yeah, loved this, 4 stars. So then I immediately, because I loved that so bad, I had to pick this up. I needed more. I had to know more. I don't even think I talked about what happens in this. This is about a girl who comes to visit this island. It's a lake, really. She comes and she's taking care of her grandmother there while she's recovering from surgery that she's had. And while she's there, she meets this boy who's lived across the lake the whole time. They basically interact. You know, you can probably guess where it goes from there. The boy who lives across the lake is one of the characters in Every Summer After. This story is about a girl who lives at said lake. The 2 brothers that live next door to her, she spends more time with them, ends up falling in love with the youngest brother, Sam. The story of Sam and his brother Charlie, who's the main love interest in this book. You get to learn about their dynamic and Percy's relationship with both of them. She's the main character for Every Summer After, so loved getting to read about Sam and Percy's relationship in this book, and then getting to know more about Charlie in this one. I did it the wrong way, but who cares? I really liked that one. I rated Every Summer After a 4 stars on Goodreads. That one is a solid 4 to me. In my personal opinion, I didn't enjoy it as much as One Golden Summer. I don't know why. Like, the big twist that you figure out, you're already told in One Golden Summer, so huge news, the huge like turning point. I was like, this is kind of, I don't know how I feel about it. Without spoiling, it kind of left me thinking, okay, I don't know how to feel, so yeah. I had to pick up her other books. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you. My next 2 books that I read in July is Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune and This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. She just caught my attention, okay? So it was good and I enjoyed it. Let's start there. It is about a girl who loses her mother unexpectedly, and her mother is the owner and runs this resort, and she's kind of left to manage the resort on her own. While she's at the resort, she sees a summer fling. It's really a story about a girl and her mom and exploring your relationship with your mother even when she's not around. Do like those parts, but the relationship aspect of this, it flopped. It was a Flopatina Aguilera to the 10th degree, and I just don't know if I could see myself wanting to go back to it. How this man acts and how he is written, it is like, okay, girl, bye. Girl, stand up. That's all I gotta say. So I rated this 3 stars on Goodreads. And finally, Carly Fortune, release me from your shackles. I read This Summer Will Be Different. I literally just finished this about 30 minutes ago. I enjoyed this one. It honestly was kind of on the same par for me as Meet Me at the Lake. Yes, do I enjoy the characters in this book? Yes, do I love the summer setting that Carly Fortune writes and is able to create? Yes, I do love all that stuff. The relationship part, maybe it's just the trope. This one is about a girl. She has a long time best friend who's getting married, and one day she is called upon by her best friend. When she arrives, she is greeted with her best friend's brother, and they have a history of spending time with each other. This is basically, I fell in love with my best friend's brother. That just doesn't really click with me. It doesn't really pull me in. I'm not wanting to be like, Yes, my best friend's brother. I see exactly their relationship makes sense, but this one was also just a little cringy. The way that they have these nicknames, like calling each other Wolf and Bee. I rated this 3 stars on Goodreads. If anything, because now that I have read these 4 books, I definitely recommend these 2. If you were gonna pick any of her books up, at least this one. If you like this one, then go for this one, and then go from there. Overall, I am very pleased with how much I read for the month of July. I'm honestly shocked with how much I've read. I haven't read that many books in I don't know how long. I'm excited for the month of August. My next book that I'm picking up is going to be The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I actually have it. Let me go get the books I'm gonna read. So these are all the books I plan to read for the month of August. I'm excited to pick this up. I don't know anything about this. Don't know really anything about Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've definitely seen this. I'm excited to pick it up. I'm excited to let you know what I think. I'll be picking that up today actually, but I was on my summer vibes, summer reading, so I wanted to read summery things, and I gotta get through this quick. This is Beach Read by Emily Henry. This will be my first Emily Henry book I've read. Like I said, my reading journey, it's just begun. We'll see how this goes. I've seen some kind of mixed feelings about this. I'll let you know what I think. Yeah, I decided that I was interested in maybe picking up a non-fiction book. I didn't really know what that was going to be just yet. Just thinking about media I like that is non-fiction. I love cooking, kitchen things. I especially love Anthony Bourdain, so I decided to pick up Kitchen Confidential, and I'm very excited to read this. Something about this is calling to me very strongly, so there's a part of me that just wants to speed through these 2 other books so I can get to this one. I don't know really if I will read this month, but I did just get this book the other day, so I thought I would include it because I am excited to read it. But it's Project Hail Mary. I had to get the book before Ryan Gosling's face was going to be plastered all over the front. Like I mentioned, don't know if this will be in this month's reading. I feel very good about where I'm at with these 3 books so far. So we'll get through these and then see where I want to go from there. But yeah, I'm very excited to continue reading. I love an independent task and I love an independent hobby. There you go. Alright, if you watched this, thanks for watching. I don't even know if this is gonna go anywhere, but I probably should have put on makeup and made it prettier. But this is my first one, so you know, it's whatever. You don't care. You don't care! I don't care, it's fine. Anyway, okay, bye.